The new fiscal union treaty is unconstitutional, undemocratic and ineffective. Those were the conclusions of a recent conference organised by the Conservative Party, Europe for Freedom and Democracy, with posters illustrating an apocalyptic scene with the European Commission building sinking in the sea, while the Atomium, a landmark building here in Brussels, floats into abyss. Guests like the German Dietrich Murswiek, one of the men to bring the EU to the German Constitutional Court, and French lawyer Anne-Marie Pourhiet told the audience why European integration would just not survive the euro, in their opinion.
It's not the end of the EU, but we are at a point where the euro, or the European Currency Union, is at the edge of failing. So I'm convinced the Eurozone cannot survive with all its members it has now.
Alors c'est vrai que nous avons une conception en Europe.
There are conceptions in Europe, at any rate in France, very finicky conceptions that seem to lack realism. What I mean is, if I try to say that it was madness to assemble so many countries in one single currency because these countries have different cultures, totally different economic and social developments, and different models, I'd be told that Europe was made for peace. So now anyone who wants to take back their own competences or have a little less Europe or a little less federalism, we are considered supporters of war. So we've reached a stage now where we can't say no to European construction or no to federalism, or we're considered the villains of the European political scene. And then the political parties or movements that promote the sovereign European state or a Europe of nations as opposed to a Europe of federalism are disqualified and almost treated like fascists. Now, Europe was born from anti-Nazism, but today those who want less Europe are treated almost like Nazis. But just a few minutes away at a metro station, passers-by, although worried about the rising levels of unemployment in Europe, under no circumstances thought that the EU was nearing its end.
I don't think that the European Union will fall apart. People need the European Union, we need more European integration, so the solution is not less European Union, but more European Union.
I don't think the EU will fail since there is no choice. Failing is not an option. As far as unemployment, speaking for Belgium and Flanders, it's still very reasonable. It may get worse in the coming months, but for the time being it's under control.
The EU has to stick together. We have to stay together in front of big economic powers like China and the United States.
Non, je pense pas. Non.
No, I don't think so. The EU has to stay united, especially against big powers like the US. I think there's going to be loads more summits to negotiate and find a compromise, as there's so much at stake.
It is very worrying, but I do believe that if the politicians have the guts to take proper solutions for the future, if they have the guts to invest in innovation as well, then there will be a solution. It will take some time. Probably we will need some years to really get out of this crisis, but we will get there.